Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am McAlphaning. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it to the stratosphere. So, I want to share a few pieces of information I came across about central bank digital currencies that got me very, very excited. And I believe is great news for XlM and Algorand as far as the possibility that the Fed might choose them as the rails, as this is how they've been phrasing it, the rails that they will use as an intermediary for their central bank digital currencies. I'm going to share that in a moment. I also believe firmly, from the mouth of Donnell Dixon and a lot of other people who have been speaking on central bank digital currencies, as well as bits and pieces of information put out by Algorand, as we have covered before, that interoperability is being pushed because they are going to be used all as one system. I did float that idea before. I know there's some paperwork that people are floating around, but I'm not sure of the validity of that particular paperwork, where there is an interwoven system of blockchains working together for central bank digital currencies. And they just flow one into the other seamlessly as one system, although individually they go by different names. It will be one system. Now, let's go here to payments.com/cryptocurrency/2021. And here is a very interesting tidbit, so to speak, The distribution of digital fiat raises the inevitable question about the role of the Fed. Critics argue that distributing a Fed coin directly from the government into a consumer account will nationalize the U.S. banking system. Cunha pointed to statements by Fed Chair Jerome Powell about establishing a multi-tiered system where the Fed would work with current banking and payments system to enable distribution and acceptance. Any new intermediary would likely be designated as a money transmitter, which could also be, this is the key in my opinion, this is very interesting, which could also be non-profits in the case of enabling direct payments to unbanked and underbanked consumers. So now we're getting into emerging markets, and developed markets. Non-profits, which cryptocurrencies, which cryptocurrencies that are used for remittances, used for transference of money are nonprofits. All right. And Stellar Lumens, the Stellar Foundation, XlM, from what I know, and Algorand, Algo. They are both nonprofits or have nonprofit foundations as their main pusher of that particular ledger. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I still believe firmly XRP will be utilized, but XRP is a for-profit company, which comes with certain inherent complications because they're a for-profit company. They're going to have an agenda, and they are a business. They need to make money. But because of that, I believe this is why the Fed is saying that they're going to be looking more closely at nonprofits. It's a little bit easier to work with nonprofits, given that even if they have an agenda, it will be lessened, especially with open source technology that will be taken in by the Fed or the central banks and utilized pretty much how they please, as long as they're abiding by the system of the ledger. So XlM is nonprofit. Algorand is nonprofit. XRP is not nonprofit. So they're looking at nonprofits. They would prefer, it could be nonprofits in the case of enabling direct payments to unbanked and underbanked consumers, which is emerging markets. We'll get into that in a little bit. So let's continue. Let's go here. The Bank for International Settlements has been doing surveys each year to monitor the progress of central banks testing and moving forward with the implementation of central bank digital currencies. Why is that important for us? It's very important for us because anyone, who chooses, I'm not telling you to do this, I'm not a financial advisor, but anyone who chooses to hold these coins or have these coins at any point, should these things take off as central bank digital currencies, some of us will become millionaires and billionaires like that in the blink of an eye. Okay, so that's why it's very important. That's why I am very interested in it. Yes, you can make money with lots of other cryptos, a lot of money, but I'm talking about the biggest money ever. This is a play that I have to have at least a piece of the pie. And so now we have this survey here from 2020. This is by the Bank of International Settlements. So let's take a look at this here. It's a sample and geographical coverage. In 2020, 65 central banks replied to the survey, which is about central bank digital currencies and issuing CBDCs. It says respondents represent, get this. It says respondents represent, these are the banks, close to 72% of the world's population. They represent the money of 72% of the world's population. That's mind-blowing. Imagine 72% of the world's money flowing through a system, even if it's an interwoven system of XlM, Algorand, XRP, all at once, or even one of them. All of that money flowing through XlM. All of that money flowing through Algorand, et cetera, et cetera. That price will it will go so parabolic that some people, I believe, will probably have a heart attack on the spot just from heart palpitations of seeing the price, and it just will be so unbelievable. 72% of the world's population, and let's continue, 91% of global economic output. I can't make this up. This is incredible. This is incredible. If it happens, this is going to be amazing. If it doesn't happen, it's always a possibility something doesn't happen, right? You have to consider, even if it's a 0.009% possibility of it not happening, right? Because the likelihood of it is very high that they are going to issue these central bank digital currencies. Of course, they're telling you that they are. 91% of the global economic output. And when we look at the global economy, how much money is flowing through central banks as a whole, we're talking about quadrillions of dollars. I can't say it enough. That's so much money that people are not taking that into account. When they look at how much XRP is out there, hundreds of millions, how much XLM, I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough. I think that coin will be bought up by banks like it's nothing. They have money to buy that stuff, like how people buy Shiba Inu, right? They buy something like that by the millions. Banks can buy millions of XLM and millions of Algorand like it's nothing. They print money like it's nothing. That is amazing. Absolutely mind-blowing. That got me so excited. I start dreaming about myself on a private beach in silence and peace, cultivating wisdom, owning the beach, owning the island. Oh, man. It says 21 respondents are located in advanced economies and 44 are in emerging markets. Remember, I just brought that up, emerging markets, okay? And developing economies, which they title as EMDEs, all right? So let's scroll down here a little bit more. This is from the Bank of International Settlements, bis.org, bis.org/publ/BPPDF. Okay, so in case you want to look this up for yourself. Central banks' interest in CBDC rises further. Over the last 4 years, the share of central banks actively engaging in some form of CBDC work grew by 1/3 and now stands at 86%. The survey data show that work related to retail CBDCs is gaining in relative popularity. We're going to go to the graphs in a second too. With more central banks either looking at both wholesale and retail or narrowing their scope of work down to retail only. The central banks not currently involved in any CBDC work are primarily in smaller jurisdictions, which we're not worried about. We're not worried about those smaller jurisdictions. We're here to make millions and billions of dollars. So all of the big banks are already working on it. That's all we need. That's all I need. All I need is for the big banks. There's 65 of them at the time of this particular article. That's all we need for them to be working on it and for them to continue to consider which crypto they're going to use as the rails, the gateway, so to speak, to the intermediary to flood their money through. That's all we need. And billions will be coming. Should that take place, millions and billions will be coming. Just my opinion from the analysis of the data, but do the tabulations. Take all of that money, put it into a system that contains XlM Stellar, Algorand. We're talking quadrillions of dollars through a world system. It will be run as a world system. That's the whole point of what they're talking about. When they say interoperability, you should be able to send money from United States to Europe, to Mexico, to New Zealand in less than a second. It costs almost nothing, and there's no problems because of the different currencies, because it won't matter. The bridge currency makes everything a level playing field. This is important for the people who want to be billionaires and millionaires. Very important. You need to know all of this so it hardens your heart. It not hardens your heart really, but it makes you stronger in a position. Maybe I'm projecting here. Makes you stronger in your position of saying, hey, I'm going to have a bag of this I'm going to hold. Now, you can do what you please, but I personally am going to have a bag for sure. Even though I'm going to probably stake some XlM, I will have a separate bag, keep my original bag, my billions bag, I call it, over here, nice and safe. And over here, I'm going to stake some XlM with YXlM and get that passive income. But either way, there's no way I pass up an opportunity like this, knowing that the price that XlM is at currently, Algorand, XRP, why would I not have a nice little bag of those things? If they're utilized, it's going to be unbelievable. And there will be no coming back. There will be no coming back. Let's continue on here. Central banks are moving into more advanced stages of CBDC engagement, progressing from conceptual research to experimentation. About 60% of central banks, which is up from 42% in 2019, are conducting experiments or proofs of concept, while 14% are moving forward to development and pilot arrangements. Not surprisingly, these general trends encompass large differences across jurisdictions and types of economies. Also, stepping up CBDC work does not prejudice the policy decision of whether or not to actually launch a CBDC, but it does demonstrate strong interest. Well, we already know that they're moving forward with testing. The Fed has already, as we covered in previous videos, MIT has been testing over 80 different blockchains, blockchain technology, interoperability and things of that nature for the Fed. Now, that previous article that I was reading was from, get this, it was from, what's his name? Jim Cunha. Let's get his name correct. Let me just scroll up. Give me one moment. Jim Cunha, the SVP of Secure Payments at the Boston Fed. He is the one who said that that the rails that they use, the blockchain that they use could be non-profit. And immediately when I heard non-profit, I had to put XRP to the side. I said, come here, Stellar. Hold on a second. Let's have a talk. Stellar and Algo, because they are non-profits. That's from Jim Cunha of the Boston Fed said this. So if he says it, then it must be the will of the Boston Fed. You guys just put the puzzle together. Hey, what can he said it he said it in his own words. All right. So, okay. So let's go here to the charts here. And it says engagement in CBDC work from 2017 went from 60 to 84. Focus of work increased from down to 61 all the way up to 66. Experiments and proof of concept have rocketed up from around low 30s to up to 60. These are banks we're talking about. Banks. Listen, guys, if you guys are getting excited about money in crypto from other crypto assets, that's great. You know, take profits, make a lot of money. That's what we're here for, to make money. But if you're talking about mind-blowing money, then this CBDC stuff is something that you need to keep an ear to and possibly consider. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would consider it because I would like to be a millionaire, billionaire. You will never have to trade again. You never have to work again. That's something I'm interested in. Your family would be set for life should these things take off. So why would you not want to give an ear? Do your own research. Go look up these articles. You can easily type them in on Google. Stay informed. Stay informed. and subscribe to this channel, because I'm always going to try to bring you the best possible content on CBDCs and cryptocurrencies as a whole. And it's something to consider. It definitely is. When we're talking about life-changing wealth, we're not talking about $1,000, $10,000. We're not talking about $100,000 from cryptocurrencies. We're talking about life-changing generational wealth. And that, my friends, is something that I cannot pass up. So now that you have that information, I'm a little bit tired, guys, so forgive me. Now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you could, please click that like button, turn it into a rocket, and send it into the stratosphere. And until next time, let's get to the money.